Okay, here's the sheet on case 5, the added questions, and this is really probably the most important part of the case. This gives you the final answer to the case where all the other questions, we're giving you the information to then develop these schedules and graphs that I talk about down here. So start off with, for question number 6, note this, use 4% for your risk premium when using the bond yield plus risk premium method. So in question 6 of case 5, just use 4% for whatever you find in 2A, I believe, the before bond yield, before tax bond yield of the company. Take that, add 4% to it for question number 6. Okay. And this additional data down here, you need to develop the additional breakpoints. The case gives you information to develop the retained earnings breakpoint. And this information right here is to come up with the debt breakpoint. So they believe they can obtain only $5 million of debt at the cost of debt you found in question 2A. And if they need more than $5 million in debt, then their before tax cost of debt jumps up to 12%, which is before tax. So you have to take the tax savings out of that for your actual schedule. So use this $5 million to find your debt breakpoint. And then I give a list of projects, like in the example. Here, yeah, I've got them listed high to low from IRR. They're not always listed that way, but so here's the various projects, their costs, and their IRRs that you'll use to develop your graph. And then question down here where I have 9A, this basically replaces question 9 in the case itself. Question 9 in the case has you do the retained earnings breakpoint up to that point, but I want you to add the debt breakpoint and then do that full schedule and full graph like we did in the example. So that's all this says. It's just based on all the above additional data here and the IRRs and all the answers to your previous questions. You find the component cost of capital, construct the company's WAC schedule. That's just that spreadsheet schedule. Like in the in-class example, we had 3 different levels of WAC and their MCC IOS graph. The MCC, as we said, is the marginal cost of capital, and IOS is like investment opportunity schedule. So that's the graph like we did in that in-class example. Yeah, be sure to include your breakpoints. You have to calculate breakpoints in there. A table showing your WAC calculations. That's like that spreadsheet schedule we did in the example. And then the actual graph itself that will give you the final answer. And that's what this says. Yeah, no, in answering this question, you need to construct a spreadsheet and graph similar to the WAC MCC example that we went over in class and I posted to Blackboard. And then the final answer is this. Based on that graph, what is the company's optimal capital budget? Which project should the company accept based on that graph? And which WAC should be used to optimize the firm's capital budgeting decision? So of those, you'll just get 3 WACs in this example. Which one of those WACs is the one that the company needs to use in its capital budgeting decisions?